morning, everyone. Today we are going to do another little arts and crafts project. Now, we did this one yesterday. We worked on decimals, fractions, and percents and how to change one into the other. Today we're going to make a separate notebook for you to keep some notes that you're going to be using throughout the rest of the course for math. And you don't have to do this, but I really think it's important to keep these notes separate from your notebook because it'll just be so much easier to find the information when you need it. Okay, we're going to be doing geometry, we're going to be doing lots of notes, and I just want to keep it separate. So you don't have to make it like this, but at least do these notes on some separate paper that you can easily find in your notebook versus trying to rummage through all the stuff that we've done so far. So we did this in my class, which is why we're going to do it. So what you need is 3 pieces of paper. I have 3 pieces of different colored paper for you to see, but if you have all white, that's fine. All you're going to do is you're going to take your paper and you're going to have it be normal, like you would be, writing on this paper. Okay, so long ways. And what you're gonna do is just kind of stagger your 3 pieces of paper, maybe like an inch or so apart. And then all you're gonna do is take the bottom portion and you are going to fold it to meet the top portion. Hopefully you can see that. So we staggered our paper about an inch apart, and then all I did is take the bottom and fold it up to meet the top. Okay, I'm gonna give it, put my phone down, give it a nice strong crease. I used to call this the flippy book in my class, and my students really liked having this at their disposal. All right, so now you have this little flippy book, and we're going to use these tabs and write the different names of the concepts that we're going to be learning. And then all you need is just a stapler to just kind of staple the top. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too much origami for you. That's the last arts and crafts project, I promise. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you what to write on these tabs. Okay, and then we're going to take our first set of notes inside these tabs. Okay. All right, this top portion we're just going to leave blank right now, but on this second little tab we're going to have 2 concepts. The first one is mode, median, mean / average, and range. And the second topic is factorials and combinations. So basically how this is going to work is when we go to take notes, say on mode, median, mean, and range, you're just going to open this section and then you have all this space to take down the notes for those 2 topics. Okay? All right, on this tab here is going to be ratios and proportions. Big important topic that you're going to be using all the time on arithmetic reasoning. Proportion. And then the next tab, we have 3 topics. We have order of ops, order of operations, integer rules, and exponents. All right, next tab, we have 2 topics. We have percent of a number, which is going to be the topic we're going to talk about today. and percent of change. Percents are a huge thing on arithmetic reasoning, so really important that you take good notes. And then finally, this last tab is going to be all for geometry. We have a lot of notes to take for geometry, so that's why I leave it biggest. All right, so those are the topics that we are going to be putting in this lovely little flippy book. All right, go ahead and go to your percent of a number tab and go ahead and just lift that portion up. And then we have this nice big space to write our notes in, okay? Just gonna get a crease at the top. All right, and I'm just gonna start right up at the top. Okay, percent of a number. You're gonna be needing to calculate percent of a number when it comes to word problems that require you to deal with discounts, with discounts, taxes, tips, and much more. So it's important that you understand how to calculate percent of a number. Okay, let's talk about, like if you had this situation. 10% of 90. 10% of 90. The magic little formula that I want you to write down is right over here. Percent of whole, over here. Percent of whole equals part. The reason that I like this is almost like an equation. The reason that I really like this style is because it turns into basically a fill in the blank for you. Because when you encounter a problem that that requires you to calculate discounts, taxes, tips, all you have to do is figure out which is the percent, which is the whole, and which is the part, and fill in the appropriate places, okay? For example, if you had to do 10% of 90, like say you were at a restaurant and you decided the service was pretty bad, so you were only going to give 10% tip of your $90 bill, tab, or whatever, okay? How much tip would you give that person? Now, I know there's a few of you that you're like, I can just do that in my head. That's great. Let me explain it to those that can't, okay? So the first thing that you need to remember with this percent of whole equals part, okay? In this case, 90 is our whole, and this part that's missing is our part. That's our x. So this is our whole, this is our part, and that's obviously our percent. Drill this in your head now. Of means multiply. Of means multiply. Of means multiply. I'm going to say it again because there are some people in my class that just couldn't get that in their brain. Of means multiply. Okay? Of means multiply. All right? So basically, this equation right here is really saying 10% times 90 equals x. Okay? So 10% of 90 equals x. To calculate this, all we're going to have to do is we're going to have to multiply 10% by 90. But the thing is that you cannot multiply a percent in its percent form. You need to change to a decimal. So change 10 to a decimal. Percent. 10%. Remember how to change it to a decimal? We move our decimal 2 places to the left. So this is really 0.1 times 90 equals x. So to figure out the value of x, all I need to do is multiply 0.1 times 90. So 90 times 0.1. Okay, I'm going to move my decimal one place to the left. So x equals 9. All right, so 10% of 90 equals 9. And this is a good first one to start with. If you ever need to calculate 10% of a number, all you need to do is take whatever that whole number is, move the decimal over one place, and that's your answer. Okay? So 10% of a number, 10% of, let's say, 100 would be 10. 10% of 120 would be 12. All you're doing is moving decimal places, okay? That's a good trick to keep up your sleeve. All right, so that's our first number, first one. Let's do, for number 2, let's do 20% of 24. Okay? We said that of means multiply, and I need to change my percent to a decimal. In this case, 20% would be 0.2 times 24. 24 times 0.2 is going to be 4.8. All right, so things to keep in mind: of means multiply, and try to remember this little key helpful equation here. Percent of whole equals part. Okay? So then all you have to do is change your percent to a decimal, change your of to multiply, and then do your multiplication. All right? Okay, so these problems are if you are missing the part. In both of these problems, we were missing the part. Let's talk about what you need to do when you are missing one of these. All right? So number 3. Let's do 25% of something equals 15. All right? Now, sorry, let me move this over. Now we are missing the whole, right? This is the whole that goes here. So if this is missing, that's where my variable goes. Okay? So I'm trying to figure out 25% of what whole number is 15, which in this case is the part. All I have to do is same process. I still have to change my percent to a decimal. I am going to multiply. I'm going to use a dot instead of an X to keep just to keep it straight. And I'm going to multiply by the unknown, right? I'm trying to figure out what this is. Equals 15. Now it's about to turn into algebra. 0.25x equals 15. How do I solve for x? What do I need to do to balance this equation? I need to divide both sides by whatever number is attached to the x. In this case, it's 0.25. Okay. Now I can do my 15 divided by 0.25. I need to give myself some zeros to work with. All right. Remember how to do this? We have a decimal on the outside of a box, so I need to move it. Therefore, I need to move it here as well. And I'm going to put it right there. Oops. Sorry. 25 can't go into 15, but it can go into 150 6 times. 6 times 125 is 150. 0 left over, but I still have a space here with only zeros remaining down here, so that's got to be a 0. So x equals 60. okay? So if you are missing the whole, what you end up doing is dividing, all right? And if you're missing the part, what you end up doing is multiplying, all right? Let's talk about one more scenario. Let's say you're missing the percent. What percent of 13 is 0.39? Okay, now our x goes here. Of means multiply, right? So x times 13 is 13x equals 0.39. Okay? Now to get x by itself, I need to divide both sides by 13. Set up my long division. Oops. Okay, my decimal is going to go right here. 13 can't go into 3, but it can go into 39 3 times evenly. So I get a decimal here. My last job, because I'm looking for a percent, is to change this decimal to a percent. So it would just go over to the right 2 times. So x equals 3%. Okay, I know that's kind of a lot. Remember, percent of whole equals part. And just remember that of means multiply. When you are looking for the part, you end up multiplying. And when you are looking for the whole or the percentage, you end up doing division. Okay? I'm going to give you some practice problems in a second to work on your own. Alright guys, so here are your practice problems for you to do on your own. Remember, your formula is percent of, which means multiply, whole equals part. Alright? So here are 4 problems. First section are you need to find the part, so you are going to multiply. Next section is find the whole, you're going to divide. And the last section is find the percent, and you are going to divide. So I'll post a picture of these problems and then you can pause the video as needed, okay? Alright everyone, so hopefully you did okay on this. Guaranteed, I mean, if you didn't get some of these answers, you probably just made a simple computational error. So just go ahead and go back and check your work. Use a calculator to check your work if you need to, if you're getting really frustrated. But definitely get in the habit of doing this computation by hand, because it's really important to build that muscle to get through this kind of mundane stuff, especially when we get to tackling word problems, okay? So hope you're having a great day and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.